Today, the monks and nuns from the Himalayan region, whether it's from Ladakh or Lahore Spiti or Nepal or Bhutan or Arunachal Pradesh, that constitutes about 69% of the total monk and nun population. And the Tibetan population is only about 29%. 2% comes from Mongolia or non-Himalayan or non-Tibetan population. So this is how we are consisted. And His Holiness has always said that the Himalayan people are responsible for carrying forward the teachings of the Buddha in the form of Tibetan Buddhism.
Nabale gets a malola yat some tish legend shuyin, Trinke lenches are on a geleze din, Tringeton use of she, Thubchog, Tseshi, Resa Daveki ning din, Pende Pumi Dikzuki, Second Purpose Ring Choki, Bomdilla, Thubchog Gatsel Linki, Dugang Survey, Unjetan, Ramne, Chimbibki, Zegur, Sonshe Navati, Shamla, Sisi Overshoe.
Bomdilla Gu Thubchog Gazeling Gumbe. Dugan Sarshing Legdubki Zegudir, Chebeb Zebe, Pel, Yameru, Gelube, Tsugen, Gabje Gande, Tirumche Chog U, Padmashri, Gabje Mira Lama, Guru Choktu Muche Chodan, Jamne Gendungi de, Aruna Chalangate Lunche, Bemakando Chodan, Jagara Ushungu Trozo to meet Tabirgao, Deshi, Jagara Ushungu Kundundan, Sanegi Kundu. And Chinang Kundu number. Dede Mangso Chelia, Pumidixu, Kashak subshude, somebody testly shuyin. Thubchog Gatsel Gundi Taran Gabje Mira Muchegi, Kanamana Shinchene, Chidong of Young Upchungagu, Tukshtamba Samlia, Sane Mangso Gi, Zugdunang de, Gurumche. Kukomacholia, Gongo Puashi, Red Docing, Taja Guruchoru Muchichoge, Zingon Nangshimbari, Thubchog Gazeling Yalatu, Shenyun Tine, Gurutembe Drume, Lobdar Surzu Yangdobate, Chizol Pelop Gachish, Chunguyoba, Der Jesiranta, Nakju Shuduchung, Tagetone, Thubchog Gazeling, Modep. Facebook Jebe Kabla, Tarin Unje Nawe Gombe Dugan Sarshen, To, Nyakurgi Tonde Tang, Soba, Tugumambushi, Tangangi Gone, Cherunyamdegi Roram, Shushimbe Tonwe, Menu Dir, Tadung, Nangbe, Chamze, Rikshung, Mang, Tobushi Yoba, Soridu, Dugan Di, Mangdo, Chino Konskam Chumbuchogi, Jonan Zedube, Shinlepki, Sengar Rabdu Barwa, Magushin, Shirupki Temba Tarshingebe, Mendu Shuguyu, Mira Lama, Kunten Rimjunam, Gesi, Kyongentang, Tube Rigu, Pu Zembu Tungu So, Tube Rogar Nasoshi, She Dukjing, Mira Lama Kunten Rimjuntang, Gewang Kunten Rimjun Pechewa, Lalobki Jetun, Dewa, Tumo Maimba, Chungyola, Menyuto. Rio Geluk Betemba, Nyatawe Kapso, Konsangaba Chimbo Kagonshi, Chikdon Truge Gajulor, Mira Lama Kundengaba, Shuje Lode Gazu, Tawang Ganden, Lazarshen Nawatan, Konsachogi, Mira Lama, Lanirtu Koshaki, Muyuki, Chusi Niki, Zegur Tebe, Mira Lama, Kunten Rimjune, Muyutu, Chusiki, Zedin Gachir Chang Yujing. Mira Lama Kunden Tubani, Gawan Kunden Tuba, Ringzin Sayan Yanzu, Chumbur Chungyola, Kunden Chuba, Konsa Chube, Kutsap to Zangde, Mundan, Druk Sanzam, Chingdum Nawa So, Namtar Mangoyu, Mira Lama Kunden Chuniba, Gabjitenzi Chile Namge, Rimbuche Chogi Gang, Sugar Sini Tazane, Long Chuda Chiktan, Chagatsam, Lomien Zede. Jebon Komang to Geshil Harambatan, Yumeto, Narimbe Tamjo Zeba Mase, Megube Gego Shenshin, Sugar Gandepuran exam to Chino Conskam Chumbu Chola, Loman, Sishu Hurge Tumna, Yube Tsun, Tendu, Zedin Chidang, Yango Mutu, Shudang, Rikshun, Shenyun, Chizo Shepshu Chale, Sengtun Nangwar, Yagar Ushune, Ngunzi Cheduki, Padmashiri, Sengda, Bishe Zebaso, Zedin, Yarngun Dadar, Geshimbar, Iranshu, Tadun Chino, Constamgo Chumbucho, Tenzin, Geshin, Tamba, Kuzin, Zedin Gabadang, Tukshe Hundub Yuma, Mundun Shugitang, Gabdun Mira Lama, Gabja Chodru Muche, Kuzi Tenzin, Tendu Chasha, Labjan Drube, Tuge, Dusmimbe, Mundun Shushin, Sigon Pembasringi. We all know that Gandhan Rinpoche, at this very late stage of his life, at an elderly stage, has taken the pain to come all the way up to Bomdila to attend this inaugural ceremony, and we should consider it a real opportune time for us to take blessings from him, because he is the throne holder of the Gelugpa tradition of the Tibetan Buddhism, which Guru Rinpoche also mentioned this morning that it was derived from the Nalanda tradition of Indian Buddhism. Since we lost our country in 1959, and subsequent to that, we had a spate of ill fortunes that ran over Tibet, followed by natural disasters and also man-made disaster, particularly during the 10 years of Cultural Revolution between 1966 to 76, when in the whole of China, everything old was being destroyed. It was more so in Tibet, where about 6,000 Tibetan monasteries were destroyed, and most of the monks and nuns were derobed, made to walk on scriptures, and had to go through all kinds of inhuman experiences. Now, despite all that, when we lost our country in 1959, we always like to look at the brighter side of things. We keep saying that we lost our country, that's bad for us, but the world gained the Dalai Lama. And even as we were sitting on the dais, the Honorable Chief Minister, to whom I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the work that he does and how he conducts himself in political life without major problems. Since Pema Khanduji came to this position, I've been watching all the developments, and we can see that Arunachal Pradesh is also going through a very peaceful time. And he has also taken a lot of initiatives to support local cultural groups, Buddhist institutions, and he has also been to Dharamsala several times where I had the occasion to meet with him. And it's not very often that we get to come to Bomdila or Tawang. That is why I thought maybe I'll share some of the information that you may not know, that since we came into exile, the reason why Mera Rinpoche rebuilt this, or renovated or rebuilt this monastery is also one of the many monasteries and nunneries that His Holiness has inspired religious leaders to build these monasteries. And as per the instruction of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in 2017, Mera Rinpoche built this monastery. And these monasteries, as His Holiness always says, is not a place to just organize Seju Nyernga or those kind of things, just gather on the 10th day of the lunar month or the 25th day of the lunar month and do some prayers. That's not enough. The monasteries are meant to be centers of learning. So this is where teachings and learning of Tibetan Buddhism needs to be undertaken. And this is where you develop your mind. When you say chö in Tibetan, it means changed. It's the past tense of chö. Chö means change. So what do you change? Change your mind. So what you learn from Buddhist teachings, you have to practice every single day. It's not just during when you receive teachings or not just during when you visit the monasteries. You have to understand the meaning of the teachings of Buddha and practice it in your life every single day, every single hour. It's not just enough to be able to read scriptures. Even if you are able to read scriptures, but if you are not able to experiment it with yourself or experience it yourself, then Buddhist teachings does not make sense, just as any other teachings in this world. So many of you who have been to South India and other places where Tibetans live, you will find that there are many big monasteries, out of which Mira Rinpoche has graduated from the Gomang University, Gomang College in the Drepung University of South India. And we are very encouraged to see that many of the Himalayan Buddhist students who joined the bigger monasteries in South India, not only in Gelugpa tradition, but also in Nyingma, Kagyu, and other traditions, Sagya traditions, now they have finished their studies, they are coming back to their local places and then also start preaching in the local language. That is why I keep saying when I visit monasteries these days, because I also function as the Religion and Culture Minister for the Central Tibetan Administration, that the physical, material things are good, but the main important thing is the study of and the teachings of the Buddha. I also want to mention that under the Religion and Culture Department of the Central Tibetan Administration, we have about 292 registered monasteries and nunneries, and there may still be more monasteries and nunneries that does not come under the Religion and Culture Department of Central Tibetan Administration. When I joined this, when I took this responsibility in 2021, we found that there were little more than 42,000 monks and nuns in these 292, or maybe less at that time, monasteries and nunneries. Now, this year, when we check the statistics, it has gone down by 2,000. So it's about 40,000 monks and nuns in India and Nepal. And some of the monasteries host about 5,000, 6,000 monks and nuns. And out of these 40,000 monks and nuns, today, the monks and nuns from the Himalayan region, whether it's from Ladakh or Lahaul Spiti or Nepal or Bhutan or Arunachal Pradesh, that constitutes about 69% of the total monk and nun population. And the Tibetan population is only about 29%. 2% comes from Mongolia or non-Himalayan or non-Tibetan population. So this is how we are consistent. And His Holiness has always said that the Himalayan people are responsible for carrying forward the teachings of the Buddha in the form of Tibetan Buddhism. So with this in mind, we have always, the Tibetans, historically, we have had a very strong relationship with the Himalayan region. We continue to do so. And in whatever capacity possible, we try our best to keep our monastic institutions together, help in the development of the teachings and sustenance of these monasteries, which are done mostly by the monastic institutions themselves, because they have centuries-old institutionalized management system and teaching system, which we don't need to interfere. They manage themselves. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mira Rinpoche for constructing this, and also Honorable Chief Minister for patronizing, for being a patron of this monastery, with not just sponsorship, but also moral and emotional support in getting all this thing done. And I also want to thank all the other sponsors, people who have contributed in making this possible. I cannot say for sure when we can be back here next, but whenever we are back, this time also I can see that there's a lot of development. I came here 2 years ago, and we can see a lot of development under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Pema Khanduji and his cabinet ministers and his political party. So I take this opportunity also to thank Honorable Chief Minister for his presence here and for his patronage of the monastery. And through this, we hope all the ordinary people like me, you and us, who are sitting on the ground, will have the opportunity to use this institution as an institute of learning to further your mind, to develop your mind, change your mind for the better, and work towards creating a world that is more peaceful and non-violent, and make this a better world to live in. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, Honorable Sikyong Kong Pemba Trincho, Tenzin Gang Shicha Su, and the Tengiba Dushin Drinks, something to Snayore, Diringado Gohatine Shicha Lape, and the Mimansondi to Soyore, Dananshin, Lehung La Samsik, Dine Lehung get something Dubadang, Lobdig in Yakan La do Samsik Changayore, and a drink. Around so sunny gi any MLA Sedi Jombilla, and Koranda dus Chendina Yore, Taganashi Arunacher gi Bede, Jabju Soba, Sozo Bigi, Soshin Re, any Tungere, Taganashin Tsangme, any Idanagane, on Susani Tenzing on la page, and Kungsigion Jola, Cheche Dushin in Nanso. Dene so Kungsigion Shishala Pego, Junse de Zo de Bomdilla la Thubchog Gatsel Ling. Any Tsuglakang Sarshing to Legdup Chung Chechine, any Unjegi Zegola, Rutugurim Bachegi, any Tende, Shuba Shisungi, Dushin Peore, Daganashing, a Bomdilla Kator, any Mimang Namlola, any Mimang Namla, any Kalup Dus Naire, any Nintama de Taringa Nimodela, Tawangi Kato Mimang Jetedang, any Kalup Naire, and Idishway.